Hello, my name is Michelle, and I'd like to welcome you to the Myers Family DocuMUSICmentary series. The first in our series, we're going to talk about autism and chronic illness. As an autistic family, we see tons of definitions and we see the way that people explain autism, and we're quite horrified. People are given an autistic diagnosis and we see caregivers, parents, and people completely devastated and destroyed, thinking that their loved one cannot have a quality of life. From nonverbal to high functioning, as people say, which by the way we don't really like, there's a branch of people in my family, all 8 of us with autism, that have unique perspectives about life. We want to share those perspectives with you. So, the first in our series is about Diamond. She deals with chronic illness and being autistic. So, welcome to our world. We hope you enjoy. Your face was funny. Okay, get us to your face was funny. Gosh. Okay, ready?
Well, I would like the world to know about my sister is that she's just so kind, she's funny, she's all types of things that you would want to hang around as a person or as a friend or as a brother or as a sister, yeah.
She's very strong.
That she's strong. She's bright. She's able to fight through the diseases she has.
She is very joyful despite all that she goes through, and she's very resilient, and she inspires me.
She's amazing at not caring about unnecessary things and always going forward and enjoying life and laughing, and yeah, that's it.
I was scripting my words in my head. It's not working. One thing I want the world to know about my sister is her talent. She could sing like an angel, yet she goes through so much pain, and I believe that will definitely inspire people.
She does things with her heart, but she also does them with a sense of, it's almost like responsibility. She's accountable, I think is the word that I'd like to use about it.
When I sing, I always imagine if I'm performing in front of God, okay? I know it may sound like that's kind of like nerve-wracking a little bit, like, oh no, I gotta perform for God, but I feel free when I think about Him, and I feel like I'm so glad that I'm alive, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to share this with people, like this experience of me being myself.
There have been times when there were critical moments in her life, but she's a fighter, and that's what I would want everyone to see about her, more so than her singing. When they look at her, see someone who has a will to survive and to live and to share her story with others so that they can have hope.
Could you keep your faith, could you keep your love for God and keep moving and keep going if you woke up every day and you felt like there was just this unfair just weight and everyone else is, doing everything else, but you've got to deal with this thing every day? At some point, do you get mad at God and just why? I guess that's the question. But I guess she's like my little Job in life, if that makes any sense.
Sometimes you have to find your strength and keep going no matter what. So I wanted to get people to understand what the idea of how lonely it is through this video. Sitting here all alone, looking at my cell phone, and I got the TV on. Sometimes I feel so scared, it's like the world's gone crazy. I need somebody to save me.
Voices all around me, stopping. Voices all around me, toxic, setting all around me. Can't you see me? Come on over, stay for a minute. Come on over, stay for a minute. Stay forever with you. Stay
What I wish people understood more about chronic illness is how lonely and isolating it can be. When you're suddenly sick and you don't really have a lot to talk about and friends kind of stop calling and you don't really get to go out much because you're not up to it. I was very lucky to have my mom. She and I were best friends and we shared a lot of the same chronic illnesses, so we helped take care of each other. And that was huge, to have someone that always understood what it was like and to be able to talk to them, and it was a blessing, and I'll always be grateful for it.
One thing that I want people to know about chronic illness is just because I am sick doesn't mean I'm clinically depressed. Not at all. Before I was sick, I was a mental health therapist, and I have the criteria right here of clinical depression, and I don't have that. And I have great joy and so much happiness in my life. Actually, since I became sick, my relationship with God has become better, and I'm happy.
People might think that it's crazy or silly, but I heard a voice tell me that I was going to have a little girl right after I peed on the stick at the doctor's office. I heard that I would have a little girl and that I should name her Diamond. And it wasn't an audible voice that says it to you. It was like almost a memory of a voice or something like that. And I heard that to name her Diamond because she would be beautiful and strong. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that same voice explained to me that she would be battled with chronic illness.
The Crohn's disease and the diabetes aren't mixing well, so I'm in constant pain because blood sugars are going wonky. Also, I have this Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. That's what it is. Basically, it's where your connective tissue, your veins, nerves, anything muscle-wise turn to mush, and anything you do feels like a ton of weight that's just bearing down on you.
As a parent, it's hard to explain. It's devastating to have a child that's right in front of you, arm's length away, and you can't do nothing to help them. You can't save them. You can't make anything better. And there were times I gladly would have traded my life like any parent would for their child. Diamond starting her little infusion thingy. Okay, what's it taste like?
Yeah, it tastes like lemon Lysol.
Diamond has a spirit that I can't even begin to explain. It's like a feeling that comes over you like you're in the right place at the right time, It's very rare that you meet kids today that make you feel like they've just shined a light on you, and that's Diamond to me.
Two words that I think of when I think of Diamond immediately come to mind is light, because she is always shining no matter how sick or no matter what she goes through. She is amazing, but she's always smiling even during the hard times. And brave, because it is hard to be strong when you're sick, and to push through it with the perseverance and with the dignity that she does is amazing, and I'm so blessed to be able to know her.
Well, apparently I totally forgot to take my pre-meds like Benadryl and Tylenol for my infusion, because sometimes I may be allergic or may not be, and woke up this morning like, oh my god, my arms, my hands are a little bit swollen, like you can kind of tell a little bit. And my lips were swollen. My
Here, zoom in so we
shoulders
can see your
swollen.
lips.
Yeah.
That's from when she gets hand fusion.
And the feels agitated around my face. Ugh. The whole max thing's driving me nuts. I have one ear out so I can hear people going by, but other than that, I don't like hearing people and machines.
So from 2nd grade to 5th grade, we had no idea what was happening, but anytime I ran or was outside playing with the kids, it was too hot, or I got really stressed out, I would all of a sudden like stop moving and I would fall over and pass out.
It's so amazing how Diamond can go through this utterly suffering. I will see her crying, changing her colostomy bag for the 5th time because Ehlers-Danlos skin ripped it up or ripped it open. And then we'll sit at night watching an anime or watching a Chinese drama or watching something that she's interested in, I am. And she's just a child.
From the age of 14 to 17, I met this woman named Dr. Tammy, and she actually helped me get approved for cannabis, yeah. I love her so much. She is such a good person. Like, she is a wonderful woman. She basically saved my life with cannabis. She really did. Because if I didn't have it back when I was 14, 17, I definitely would have, left this earth.
Diamond is our diamond in the rough. I've known Diamond for quite a while. You can see her pictures right here on my walls. Yep. Diamond. Courage, strength, love her. Yes, this is the Red Barn Healing Angels, a 2B dispensary located in Northern California, Trinity County, in Douglas City. We'll go on a little tour real fast. This is our museum. I also have a children's program where we train and take care of chronically ill and terminally ill children and adults with cannabis or the money from cannabis, helping them meet their needs. The Angel's Prayer Tree, put prayers on there for everybody around the world. And of course, the main hall.
One day I'm hoping to find the one that I love. Not right now, of course, but I definitely want to do that in the future.
Don't think people understand. This kind of love rarely happens in life. Ever love somebody with your soul? When they leave, it's hard to let go. I don't know why we're not together. I don't know how things fell apart. All I know is that They say the heart wants what it wants, and my heart wants to know. Will you ever come back to me? I know the distance seems too far. You know it's you I won't stop loving, no matter where we are. I never doubted that you love me. Things were so complicated then. We are connected to each other. This love will never end until the stars outshine the moon. I'm gonna love you. It's no one else if it ain't you. I don't know why we're not together. I don't know how things fell apart. All I know is that I still love you. You got the pieces of my heart. I would give anything to have you walk back into the dawn tonight. I know we love each other madly. I wanna be insane on until the stars outshine the moon. I'm gonna love you. It's no one else if it ain't you.
When I started to have my children, I didn't know that it was autistic, not to speak. They didn't really talk at all, most of them, until they started to go to school. So people ask me, like, how did that work? Because if they weren't really talking at 3 and 4 years old, what happened? And all I know is there was some type of symbiotic thing that has happened with all of us being autistic. Perhaps it's that reason. We sort of anticipate each other's needs, and even when they were little, and even between the siblings, somehow, we just kind of know things.
I remember sitting there looking at like these posters of kids on a poster saying, if your child has blah, 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 contact, blah, blah, and the kids looked happy and whatnot. I remember looking at that and I was like, why don't I feel like the kids on the picture?
When it comes to reciting movies in the household as means of a joke, she can recite like a whole entire movie, and it's just hilarious.
I think being autistic it's just a different brain, but that's like there's nothing different about what's autistic and then being normal. I mean, because I just have a different brain and I like it. And Diamond's, I have fun with Diamond. It's not like autistic is a bad thing and they make it like it's a disease or something that you catch and then it's like, oh, it's so bad or something. Like, you shouldn't take it that far. And it's, I love my brain and I love how it works, and you should enjoy my uniqueness.
Being neurodiverse is at its core prioritization of learning over communication. So we just prefer to learn about things that we're particularly interested in great detail. In fact, I don't believe that anybody can learn in as much detail as an autistic person. But we don't prioritise the communication. The communication is secondary to us, which does not mean that we cannot communicate. It just means it's not as important. So a lot of us, especially from a very young age, we will basically just be trying to learn about our surroundings, playing with toys in a different way, reading books, learning about, the things that we're really interested in, which means that we don't learn, unfortunately, how to communicate as well as everyone else. This obviously leads to the assumption that we can't communicate as well as everyone else, which is not true. You just have to give us time.
And this one, also the very important drawings, this one, and this one's unfinished, I guess. So I just finished the Independence Day drawing. My Roblox Earth was drawing. My other Roblox Earth was drawing. And that's all.
I wish more people knew about the importance of good gut health. The blood-brain barrier, you can do some research on that, and the importance of unprocessed gluten and dairy-free foods with supplements like B12, zinc, magnesium, and fish oil with pre- and probiotic support have been game changers for my autistic daughter.
I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder last year. If there's one thing I want people to know, it's that autism is not a life sentence. It is entirely possible to be on the spectrum and make the adjustments to have a happy, joyful, productive life. I'm on the spectrum, and I'm married, I'm self-employed, I have friends, I serve in my community, and I'm writing my first book. So don't think for 1 second that being autistic is a barrier to a great life.
I would have a very, very hard time trying to focus on what people are saying, but because I have sensitive hearing and noises, lights, and anything touching me may be sensitive, I was really not talking, and I was really cautious around people, because if they talked to me, looked at me, or even spoke to me, I was always like, no, don't do that. And I wondered back then, like, why do I feel like I don't want people to touch me, say hi to me, or even when I try to speak up back at school, it was elementary school, I would always, like, talk to myself while I'm in the bathroom, like, okay, I'm gonna say hi, how are you doing, my name is blah, blah, blah. But then I go blank as soon as I try to do it when I go out of the bathroom.
Being autistic, oftentimes you get lost in the sounds, you get lost in the noise, and sometimes it's easy for us to lock ourselves away. And there are times when Diamond, she won't speak up for herself, and so she gets between the pain and just, some things that she deals with being autistic. And I realized that if I didn't step up into some place, that everything wasn't going to be all right in that moment. So she really encouraged me to do that. She gave me a reason to do that. And I discovered something about myself that I got to be and practice with her.
11th grade, yeah, that's when what was I doing? I started in online school at 11th grade, that's what it was. But the problem with that is, because of so many, like the autism, the auditory processing delay, the fact that I just couldn't even, like, see, now this is another thing. I literally lose track of what I'm saying because I have ADD, auditory processing delay, and I have where my memory's kind of wonky. So just now, you just witnessed me forgetting everything.
I never thought in my lifetime, I didn't have a plan. I knew that I'd have a lot of children, and I was married to one person. They're all from one man. I never thought that I'd be a single parent. And Diamond and I have spent the most time together, I'd say, because she was always sick and she was in hospital. And there were times in ICU wards, and so many times that I would feel, I wish there was another person there. And not just for me, but for her, to have that, that family that I thought had to be there, that was utterly necessary, else it wouldn't work out. And what we discovered was over the years, there's just a unique relationship that we wound up having, because we would sometimes be out of the city where my mother lived or my brother lived and the rest of the children. So as much as I was supporting Diamond when she was 13, meta-flighted someplace and we were all alone, there were so many precious moments that Diamond also was supporting me.
Now that he's not really around, of course these past 12 years basically he hasn't been around, I guess it's more freeing, and I don't really have to think about him as much because he's gone. Well, I don't want to say anything mean about him because, times have passed and I don't want to hold a grudge against him most of the time. But he was just a man that wasn't ready for kids, basically. Even if he had 7, he still wasn't ready no matter what. Slowly through time, if he does contact me or my family, it's just like, I'm so sorry for everything, blah, blah, blah. I won't trust him immediately, of course, but I will give him a chance at least.
There were times at the children's hospital when she would be in pain and doctors would be trying to figure things out, and it would go on for hours. And then she'd buzz the nurse's button and the nurse would come in and I'd be like, "Oh, Diamond, is something wrong? What's the matter?" And she would look at them and say, "My mother hasn't really eaten today, so can you do something? Can you get her something?" And I think in those moments I see how selfless she is. Hi. How are you doing, Diamond?
I'm okay.
all she wants to do is sing. Ever since she's a little girl, and she couldn't go out and play, she couldn't do so many things that other kids do, and she could sing. And Diamond, when she does sing, she sings with her whole heart. She sings with a purpose. She sings with the intention that you be in that moment with her. And sometimes I think it's because she's not sure how many moments that she's going to have, and she fights so very hard to stay and have all these moments.
There can be miracles when you believe.
Her voice is just phenomenal. I cry every time. It actually teaches me to just let that move on. It doesn't matter what people say. It just matters just of being who you are through music like we are, and it's just been probably one of the best things ever happened in my life.
Greatest opera singer I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh, I just love to meet him one day, just to be like, can I sing with you one time, at least just one time? Okay, second is BTS. Bangtan Sonyeondan. Oh my god, I love that so much. They definitely inspired me to definitely push myself with music, because no matter what circumstances they go through, no matter what they do, they actually love what they're doing, and they're pushing themselves to actually do it.
Hopefully she'll make music videos with them and stuff, because she's a massive, massive, massive fan of BTS.
When she was a little girl, she didn't say much, and when she did, everyone asked me. They were like, is that girl of Oriental descent? And I'd be like, no. And she's kind of pale, but it was also because since Diamond could utter a sound, she's been fascinated with Oriental culture, Asian culture. She just gravitated towards it. Any Oriental culture, but specifically Chinese and Vietnam and Korean. And so when she was a little girl, I used to watch sometimes, there wasn't anime out exactly, but I used to watch Chinese dramas. I still do. And she would sit and watch them, so she started trying to talk like they did, perhaps. No one really knows, but when she was first starting school, she actually would say some words in Mandarin sounding.
I also would like to encourage her to do violin sometime.
My main instrument is the violin. But over the recent years, I've actually had to stop playing him because the EDS is starting to get really bad. I have to really exercise in order to do that. I miss him. Drums, yes, I love playing the drums. I'm a maniac with that,
I saw her Attack on Titan jacket before I saw her face. I didn't go up to her because I was nervous, maybe she just... So I just left it alone, forgot about it, and then my mom said, there's a girl who likes the same shows you like. Really? Where? Walked out, asked someone, did you see a girl with a Attack on Titan jacket? I started going to the bathroom, went to the bathroom. There was the most beautiful singing I've ever heard, and I've heard people sing. But when Diamond sings, there's a feeling that you don't get usually from when someone sings. It's a feeling that I can't really describe because it's so amazing and not a voice you hear a lot that actually brings you into the song, that makes you feel from her first word. I don't get that a lot when I hear people sing, but with Diamond, she's special.
Because of sensories to noises and whatnot, I had to change out my regular headphones into these because the pressure on my ears was starting to agitate me and I couldn't really sing out loud well. It was driving me nuts. So my mom was like, hey, why not just try earbuds? So we got the song recorded. I have to have a special belt and elastic stuff on my stomach so that it stays in place. But because of the skin deteriorating, it starts to fall apart and the stoma stuff starts, summer supply starts to fall apart too. So I literally have to change this every, what's the shortest one? Like every 6 hours sometimes a day, or every 24 hours max so far. It used to be I could have like 2 or 3 days of freedom, but I can't because my skin is still ripping apart and it's making everything difficult for it to stay on. But I still push through. I mean, heck, we have a photo of me singing, and I have my colostomy pouch open because I have to let it dry out in order for it to stick on again. But I had to record. I couldn't stop what I was doing. So
when you're in the hospital and you don't know if someone's going to be there tomorrow, you don't waste words. I guess I could say it that way. As sarcastic as I am, I remember one time she was blaming on the drugs. She was on her IV, and I was walking out of the room, and she looked over at me and she was like, "You really don't have an ass."
You know, Diamond lives very much so as if she really has every present moment good for her life. So that's how I want to live my life too.
She wants to be successful in this to the best of her ability because she wants other children and other people in life who are autistic or have rare diseases and things like that in their families to have hope and to perhaps perceive that they don't have to be all the negative things that people say, and that they're worth loving, and Diamond is so worth loving.
It really helped me see something that, well, we're not our illnesses, we're not our sicknesses, we're more than that.
Never give up. No matter what the obstacle may be in your life, never give up. Be a fighter and have hope.
But family is just the number one thing. Well, God's number one, hey. But second would definitely be family for me. Like, I know most of my life, basically, we've been poor off and on, stuff like that. We've been blessed by God by many things, but I really want my family to be provided for and just to be successful, but not as a famous idol or something crazy. I want to be someone who can give out great music.
Sometimes you look around and things are so very bad. They're very bad. So our family feels like God allowed our minds to be the way that they are, and God allowed our hearts to be the way that they are, because there's a reason that the world needs autistic viewpoint, we would say. Some of my autistic friends and I say,
don't let the challenge dictate the course. Meaning, no matter what struggle, or I guess any struggle that you're going through, basically, no matter what, even if you're stressed out, anxiety, and mentally just not really caring about anything, you can do anything you want to do as long as you believe in yourself.
Seen the darkness, felt the pain. Told you my thoughts, 'cause I felt insane. But you
We hope that you enjoyed the first in the Myers Family DocuMUSICmentary series. Diamond's journey has been hard, it's had its ups and downs, but we are forever grateful that not only is she in our family, but that she's thriving and surviving. For more information about my family, all you have to do is go to butterfly25.com. Butterfly, the number 25, and then .com. We have so many more things to share with you. Books, movies, and the magic of being autistic. And we're so glad that you are here with us. Talk to you all soon. Bye. Chin down. And then look back at me again.